everybody's doing well this evening. Everybody's healthy, safe, and looking forward to the upcoming weekend. It looks like I'm going to be flying solo tonight, so I will try to keep everybody halfway entertained at least and not bore you too bad. Tonight's title is D.D.S. Democrat Double Standards, which I'm sure everybody here that's watching this understands exactly what that means. Um, Real fast, let's get through some boilerplate things first. First and foremost, everything here that we say, I say, whoever's on here says, is for entertainment purposes only. That means that we're not a news outlet or anything else. We're just some people here voicing an opinion, good or bad, about whatever event is on our radar at that time. If you don't agree with it, that's cool. You don't have to. You're welcome to go research it yourself and do whatever makes you happy. But we're going to talk about what we want to, and that's just how it is. There is no safe space here. If you're offended by something, then apparently you hit the wrong button and you need to carry your ass out the door, because this ain't the place. Furthermore, we're not here to sow any discontent, encourage any violence, anti-government sentiment, break any laws, etc. We're just some people here voicing our concerns about the day, like I said, whatever events are on our radar. That being said, we're going to move right on. Ozzy, good to see you, brother. You're absolutely right. If Democrats didn't have double standards, they would have any. I have to agree with you. It's amazing to see how the Democratic Party has transformed into the misguided bunch of idiots it is now. I can think back growing up. I'm not sure if my dad ever voted Democrat, but I know my mom did. And it was a different beast. The stuff we have now, it's the derelicts from the forgotten age, the long gone age, like Pelosi and some of them that have been around for an eon. But then you got this new batch coming up, like the Squad, AOC, and all those clowns. And let's don't forget Ghetto Crockett, our favorite. I personally think on ticket it should be AOC and Ghetto Crockett. She can be the VP. AOC can be the president. They can run on the Democratic ticket. I mean, that's the bullshit they want to push, and they want those fucktards out there as their mouthpieces. Please let them go in the ticket together. It will be like watching a combination of Soul Train. No, I'm not even going to cut down Soul Train. It'd be a combination like watching, I got to think now. I'm not even sure there's anything out there. Maybe a cross between Living Color and, I don't know. I don't know. I can't even define that, but it'd be entertaining, especially when one of them had to get on there and actually talk like they have more than 30 IQ points. I truly believe that Crockett, this is all facade for her because she's educated. I think that she leads a double identity because she wants to appeal to the people in her district. So she comes across as a hood rat. Now, it's not to say that she doesn't embrace that, but I don't think that's how she is when you get her out from in front of a camera. Maybe I'm wrong. AOC, she's dumb as a box of rocks on fire. There's no viable brain cells in that. I would seriously consider putting some kind of stipulation where if she wanted to procreate, she had to go through a long application process because you do not need a bunch of those running around. Just saying. Again, not trying to say anything or sound crude or any of that horse shit, but you got to remember now. I mean, look at what we're dealing with. And Ozzy, you're right. Bernie Sanders, here's the problem with Bernie. Yeah, he's got ambition, kind of, but he's kind of like bed shitter. He only can get so far. He's an idiot too. He's a straight up socialist. And while yeah, he gets up there and runs his mouth and stirs the pot, I don't think that Bernie really has the brass to make it across the finish line, much less actually go in a debate against somebody because he's an eon old. And look, no disrespect to somebody who's up in age. I mean, more power to you. But there comes a point in time where you need to sit back and just relax instead of continuously stirring the pot and trying to get rich, which most politicians are because they're criminals. I mean, show me one that's not. I'd guarantee you I can count on my hand how many aren't that I've come in contact with. Because once they get to Washington and get a taste of that power and start getting introduced to these little clubs and societies and insider trading and all this other horse shit, greed is a terrible thing. Just saying. And then you get all the other fuckery that gets involved when you get to D.C. For those of you who've never been to D.C., I encourage you to go. Don't plan on staying in the bitch. Just visit because it's a shitty city. It is unfortunate that our founding fathers created the District of Columbia and it's become so laced with the fuckery that runs abroad there. I mean, it's a shame when you have to step over homeless because they're everywhere. They're sleeping on the heat grates, the grates on the ground and stuff. I've literally seen FBI agents step over homeless. They ignore them. That's a fact. Twice. Just to give you an idea of how great this city is, I believe Kristi Noem was in a restaurant on Easter. Somebody stole her purse in the restaurant right there. Had her ID, had $3,000 cash in, and numerous other things. Got the purse, took off with it. Now, personally, I would like to see Homeland Security like salt the earth looking for whoever fucktard did this and just make an example. I think it'd be hysterical because whoever did it, well, I'm not going to say they didn't know who she was because it's a 50-50 chance. Either it was just a thug going through, saw a purse, low hanging fruit, said, hey, I'm going to steal that because that lady looks like she's got money. Or it was somebody said, hey, that's Kristi Noem. I'm about to fuck her Easter up. So you be the judge of how that may have bounced. In this day and age, nothing surprises me. Everybody remembers Tampon Tim, our favorite cross-dressing shitbag that ran as for hope. He was a vice presidential hopeful with camel toe. I guess one of his staffers thought it'd be cool to, trash some Teslas. And I guess the state's attorney or whoever there has said they're not going to press any charges against him. That's great to see justice served. I mean, if I was driving a $70,000 or $100,000, I don't know how much the Tesla Cybertrucks are or whatever vehicle you happen to own. But if I was one of those owners and this dickhead came and keyed my vehicle and you tell me you're not going to prosecute him, how is that fair to me? He broke the fucking law. That's destruction of private property. Just off the top. And it's felony because it's easily over $1,000. I don't care what state or municipality you live in. But you don't want to prosecute him because you're being funded by that shriveled up shitbag Soros. I mean, there you go, Ozzy. You know exactly what I'm talking about. $20,000 in damages. That's a felony. I'm sure there's some other laws that were broken or ordinances. I'm not a legal scholar, so I'm not going to even attempt to figure out what they are. But even the police are pissed off. Here we are. We did our due diligence, found the guy, went to prosecute him, handed it off the DA's office, and you aren't going to do shit. What the fuck? All you're doing is encouraging that kind of behavior. And it's hilarious. I saw a meme today, or not a meme, it was a brief news thing. All these people were protesting and tearing shit up, spray painting it, defacing, setting cars on fire, all this. the greenest car company on the fucking planet. You know, the shit y'all touted for the last 4 years and tried to make us have to start riding horses because nobody could afford a fucking electric vehicle. And you're trying to cut off all the damn fossil fuels we could get and double the price and give them to every damn body else. Just let me be clear. The Green New Deal is a crock of shit. It'll never work. We don't have the infrastructure to support it. The whole idea is ridiculous. Now, yes, there's only a finite amount of petroleum. I get that. Okay. But they're always developing new ways to locate it, refine it, and use it. And unfortunately, a lot of shit on this planet Ozzy, I'm sorry. Ozzy, you're correct. And I hope that happens. I hope the DOJ steps in and says, okay, well, since y'all won't fucking do nothing, we'll handle it. But see, we'll get to that in a minute, Ozzy, because that's a whole nother thing we can cover tonight. Going back to what I was saying, shit, now I've lost my train of thought. I apologize. I'll jump over to Ozzy's. It would be nice to see that happen. I would love to see them go and charge him federally. I think that's what should happen. But the problem we're running into is every time the Trump administration or anybody in the government tries to step off and make an example of somebody and start doing their job, they're being hit with all these fucking lawsuits, right? They're being buried in fucking paper by the double standard Democrats, right? Now, if the shoe was on the other foot, they would do whatever, and there wouldn't be a damn thing said. I mean, look, for 4 years, we watched a flood at the southern border. Half our fucking NGOs were giving them directions, including the American Red Cross, if I'm not mistaken, on how the fuck to get here safely. Hey, come here and we'll send you shit, right? We'll prop you the fuck up. Okay, that's great. So they all get here, and there's nothing said. We'll bus you, fly you, we'll drop you to red state because we like to fuck with them for free, all right? Well, now that we got a president that's got some fucking brass, they're stepping in trying to undo all this fuckery from this last administration. It was nothing but a bunch of fucking deviants and criminals. And at every turn, he's being challenged through the judicial system. At what point is enough enough? I don't understand. I don't understand how it can be this way. You've made executive orders, but yet every time he tries to make one, you guys try to undermine it, but you never try to undermine anything else that's going on. And he's not, compared to the previous administrations and who they fucking deported, he's a drop in a bucket. Look at what Obama bin Laden deported. Look at what Baby Bush deported. Look at what fucking Clinton deported. But it's okay that they did it because it fit their fucking narrative. It's just like these 4 idiotic Democrats that went to I guess, El Salvador. All right? They go down there. Let's see if I can find their names real fast. Because they're going down for Kilmar Armando Abrego Garcia. I would just call him Big Daddy Gangster because that's what he is. He's fucking MS-13. It's been established he's fucking MS-13 by 2 judges, the DOJ, everybody. So you're trying to sit. So Robert Garcia, Maxwell Frost, Yasmin Znari, and Maxine Dexter all go there and say, we're going to get him freed. Well, see, there's a problem with that. First off, he ain't in the fucking United States, and you're a U.S. politician. You got 0 fucks down there, nothing. El Salvador can tell you, step the fuck off, or we're going to lock you up. Personally, if I was the El Salvadoran president, I would contact Donald Trump. I'd say, President Trump, I've got a problem here. I'm grateful for the relationship we have between our 2 countries, and hopefully some of the opportunities are going to come forth moving forward between our 2 countries rather. But your politicians are coming here and making a spectacle of our judicial and legal system here, and it's unwarranted and unnecessary. It's becoming a nuisance. Can I please deal with them? And what I would do if I was the president, I'd turn around and say, okay, you've got one of two options. You're here creating basically headlines for yourself, and you're disrupting our way of life and our judicial system here. Question what we do. You're not a citizen of this country, nor were you asked to come here. The very person you're here to see is a known felon and MS-13 member. He got deported. Regardless of how he got deported, he was in the country illegally to begin with, and had committed numerous crimes in your own country and got sent here. He's now incarcerated here. He's not leaving. So I'm going to give you the courtesy of giving you 48 hours to get on a plane, the first thing smoking preferably, and carry your ass back to D.C. If you do not, then I will have to get with my judicial system or whatever their entity is for the DOJ, and see if we can't charge you for being here in this country the way you are. We'll yank your fucking diplomatic credentials and put you on a plane, or we'll arrest you. Which one would you prefer? We can do either or. Because, see, they're under the misguided concept that they can go anywhere in the world and, puff out their chest and make demands. This is a sovereign fucking country. And you're some pissant Democrat trying to make a name for yourself. And you think you can go out there and just make them do what you want? Make them give you what you want? No, this isn't fucking Burger King. Can't have it your way. I mean, I'm surprised that the president there has put up with it as long as he has. Now, let's go look into a couple other things. There's a strong possibility. Let me double check. Make sure I've got the right thing. Let's see. No, that's not it. Bear with me while I do my research here. The Democrats may be in violation of the law, but I'm trying the Logan Act. And let me give you a little bit of background on what the Logan Act is. I thought it was the Hatch Act, but I was totally wrong. I'll give you a little bit of information on it because I didn't know about this. The Logan Act is a U.S. federal law, 18 U.S.C., whatever that little squiggly thing is, 953, that prohibits U.S. citizens from engaging in unauthorized private diplomacy with foreign governments. Essentially, it criminalizes actions by private individuals to influence foreign governments on matters involving disputes or controversies within the United States without the authority of the U.S. government. The act has been a topic of recent debate, with some suggesting it should be applied to certain private communications between U.S. citizens and foreign officials, particularly those involving the U.S. presidents. Okay. Here's the thing. On the face, they're in violation of that. Every one of those fucking Democrats is. Okay? Here's their loophole. And I hate being devil's advocate because I can't stand them. All right? They're not private citizens. They're arms of the federal government. Minions. So I don't know how you go about doing that. I mean, personally, what I would do if I was the president, I'd charge them. I would charge them with violating the Logan Act. I would tell them, you've got X number of days, you have this long to get your ass back on that plane. It's probably a government taxpayer-funded aircraft full of all kinds of goodies. They sure as shit didn't pay to go. Bring their ass back. I'd tell them, I'd say, to get back on the plane right now and bring your ass back to D.C. to face the music, or I'm sending fucking U.S. Marshals to come get you. Which one do you want to do? Bring them back, perp walk their fucking ass, and make an example out of them. Because that's the only way this stops. These criminals think that they can do anything they want, when they want, and there's no recourse. There's no one holding them, accountable. I mean, as I said, on the face, that's exactly what they're doing. And they keep saying he was erroneously deported. He's a fucking felon, okay? Not just once. Let's look at what this dude did. Let's do that. I mean, let's give him the benefit of the doubt, and let's see what we got. And I love when they say alleged. No, he's really not alleged. Let's see here. All right. See if I can find you what exactly he was. Okay. He's 29 years old, from El Salvador. He was married to a U.S. citizen and father of 3 children. He was deported on March 15th, which we know. He was deported from the United States, and the Trump administration apparently calls this an administrative error. It says he was never charged of a crime in 29. Let's see, let me read this right. And this is coming from WBLTV.com. The Trump administration has accused Garcia of being an MS-13 gang member, which he denies. But if you look at his hand, it kind of says it. And you don't go to Bubba's Tats and Beer and get one of those unless you're a gang member. Just saying. MS-13 kind of frowns on that shit. It's kind of like having a cut on a leather jacket and rolling up on a real motorcycle gang. It can get you knife shot or worse. Just saying. I guess here, let's see. I'm trying to see if I'll show, because there was some other stuff here, and of course it's not showing me now. But he's an MS-13 member. Look at his hand again, and you'll see it clearly says MS-13. And, let's go about where his wife filed a protection order against him. But he's no upstanding citizen. Let's look at that. So she put a protective order against him in 2021. All right. Now, I'm sorry, but you don't get protection orders, at least not where I live, put against you unless you fucked up. And I know when I've had to go to court to handle some legal shit, I was there when they were doing them. And for the judge where I am to grant one, you almost had to have video of a gun being put to your head. I mean, you had to be that articulate to get one awarded. But yeah, he apparently, and this is in one case in the court petition, he wrote, his wife, Jennifer Vasquez, describes multiple instances over the course of several days in 2021. And again, this is off CBS News, our favorite left-wing news outlet, that ripped off her shirt, grabbed her and bruised her. Let's see. Got angry with her at a gas station, insulted her, and drove very fast. Well, insulting her, that's kind of silly, but okay. Later, he yelled at her to turn off her laptop, and when she said she wasn't tired, he got angry, threw her laptop on the floor. She pushed him off of her, and then He then punched and scratched her left eye. Yeah, he's a prize winner. Just on that alone. Okay? That's just one of the many things. And they're trying to paint this guy as just some random, you know, John Q. Public that got accidentally sent somewhere. And he's not. The judges have said he's an MS-13 member. Everyone says he's an MS-13 member. And now all of a sudden you want to champion this dude and not mention all the facts about it. He's not a pillar of the community. He never was. And as far as having kids, I can give you a memo on how that shit happens. It doesn't take a father to do that. It just takes a man and a woman. Not a they them, but well, I mean, I guess it could be a they them, but a man and a woman. And I can give you a memo to show you how that shit works. It takes anybody can have a kid. It takes another level of person to become a mom or a dad. And any of you out there that are parents understand exactly what I'm saying. Anybody can procreate, but it's next tier to be a parent and own it. And don't even get me started on fucking grandparents. That's a whole nother beast. But the point I'm making is this guy, you know, you're using him as political tinder. And the reason they're making such a big deal about this, because if they can get El Salvador to cut this dude loose, okay, if they can get him to cut him loose and bring him back, he is their unicorn. And what I mean by that is once they bring him back, the gates will open. Everybody will release him to come back. The Democrats want these people back here because these are voters. These are potential voters. That's why they're shitting their pants, because they're all getting shipped out. If they're all running around scared, they're not going to vote. They're not going to show up to support things. This was all by design. They let them all up in here because they figured they would be ensured to get reelected over and over and over and over. It's not about serving the people they're here to serve. It's about maintaining their wealth and their power. They don't give two shits about any of us. Nobody. And that's the fact. And if you think it's anything different than that, you're sorely mistaken. So, that being established, this is just more political foreplay for them. That's all it is. They know what they're doing. This is all by design. These are not the Democrats at all. These people are trying to manipulate and hoodwink people to jump right on board. And here's the great thing about it. Let's switch gears for a minute. Well, we've already established that the politicians are all fucking criminals, especially on both sides of the aisle's got them, but the Democrats really shine when they need to. Let's jump over to Carmelo the Ripper for a minute. Our favorite knife-wielding track star. Okay? I hope that this little shit, and I'm saying this, I hope he gets prosecuted to the full extent of the law and serves hard time, because he should. Now, I wasn't there, but I'm going to tell you what I've heard. I can't tell you where I heard it because I do not remember which outlet it was, but on the day all this shit happened, you know, you had all your different tents where this track meet was set up, I guess, in the bleachers from what I've seen. I might be wrong. So, from what I've heard, he was drifting from tent to tent. Okay? Now, I can't cite where I saw that. This is what I'd heard. We'll leave it there. Now, why would somebody be drifting tent to tent during track meet? He wasn't there to say hello. And the people were at the track meet. So these are a bunch of unattended tents with shit in them. You know, where there's smoke, there's fire. You can fill in the blanks because that's what was suggested was going on. And I guess he rolled up into this one tent where they told him, hey, you don't belong here. And Ripper, pretty much stuck his chest out and told the guy, he said, look, touch me, see what happens. Do something. Okay, he went there with the intent to challenge somebody. And this guy's not, Carmelo's not a saint. He never was. There's a lot of shit about him that they're covering up and scrubbing because they're doing their damnedest to protect this whole thing because they're trying to get him off. And the guy that's representing him or the family or whatever the fuck he is, he's a bigger criminal. He's almost as big a criminal as Carmelo is. For all the shit he's done. But he's all about, sitting there calling, anybody that's speaking out a racist or a Sambo or whatever. Boy, he hates David Harris. And, it's just hilarious to see how they try to flip the script. If that had been a white kid that went and knifed an Asian, a Hispanic, a black, Indian, whatever, shit would be on fire. It would be on the news nonstop. They're making this little shit out to be some kind of victim. You stabbed somebody and fucking killed them in cold blood. You had intent when you got there. Now, I've been trying to see if he's been expelled because, see, again, I think they're scrubbing all his information. But if he's been expelled, his entire case kind of implodes because if the school system expelled him because he committed a crime and was in possession of something that he committed the crime with, then he has no legal precedent to claim self-defense or anything else. He was already in violation of the law doing what he did. He came there with intent. That's been established. Whether this thing was a cleat sharpener or a knife or whatever it was, I know Texas has some strange laws about knife size and shit on school property, but the point is I don't think it's supposed to be there. I might be wrong. Again, I'm not a legal scholar. I don't live in Texas. But when he produced that and proceeded to stab the other kid at the track meet, when he did that, it kind of, that was it. I mean, the whole thing was that when he stabbed Austin Metcalf, like he did, that was murder. Now, I don't know what degree of murder it is, but he came with intent. He produced a weapon. That was murder. Don't know if there's malice involved or not. Again, I'm no legal scholar. But the point is he did it, got away with it, and he's trying to make, they're trying to make him have to be some kind of victim. There was nothing there to justify him using lethal force to protect himself. Even if he was doing self-defense, there was nothing to justify it. He was on school grounds. The person he was having an altercation with was another student, which was unarmed. The other student never, whether there's a verbal exchange or not, it's irrelevant. You can call me everything but a man of God. That doesn't give me the right to take up arms against you. I can say shit back to you. That's my prerogative. Or I can walk the fuck away. But I can't pull out a weapon and shoot or stab you with it because I don't like what you say. And I sure as shit can't posture myself and try to antagonize you to get you to step up and do something else. And that's what Ripper was doing. He wanted to do it in a way where he could stab somebody and get away with it. That's what he was trying to do. Now, what kind of sick fuck has that go through their mind and plots that shit? Please tell me. Because I never had shit like that when I was growing up. My kids never thought that way, to my knowledge. If I'd found out my kids were thinking shit like that, I personally would have got their ass damn hauled somewhere and checked out. I wouldn't have damn just let it slide. But his whole family's grifting off this shit. I said this last week. I mean, you're talking about a family is selling fucking t-shirts. And now they're talking about, oh, we've been threatened and there's so many racist people out there. No, they're fed up with the double standard. People are fed up with people going out there and committing crimes and fucking getting away with them because of the color of their fucking skin and because of the crooked ass damn prosecutors that are Soros funded in all these fucking states. Now let's face it, the Frisco area, that's close to Dallas, I believe, it's a shithole. It's a blue shithole. They're trying to overtake Texas because they figure if they do that, then they can always win because Texas is the last bastion of the Holy Land. And that's what they want to do. They, the Democrats, again, this is their long game. And this is all shit that they want to do, And again, you've got this kid here who is dead now. His dad will have to carry on with one of his children being laid to rest by a thug. And they're painting the thug to be some kind of unsung hero. I truly hope that the Metcalf family makes it through this and they're able to come to grips and move on with their lives. And I truly hope that Ripper has to face the music. He needs to face the full weight of the law. Will he? I don't know. We'll see. A couple other things. I don't mean to be beating the drum and sounding so negative tonight, but I mean, there's just so much shit to talk about. As much as I hate to say it, I think that as much as I like Trump, I know he's made some mistakes. There's some people here that are going to say he's made some mistakes. He's our best option. I've seen the man speak live. I've been within 100 feet of him, and heard him talk. And I like a lot of the things he's trying to do. The problem is he's running the same fucking problem he ran into the first time he ran. His ship is leaking like a sieve. He's got his own people fucking him from behind the scenes. I don't think as many of his close people are doing it, but I think he's got some leaks that need to be addressed somewhere. And his own party is silently fucking him too. This for a couple different reasons. One, because most of your politicians, as I said, are corrupt fucks, every one of them. He's upsetting the apple cart. If he pushes things the wrong way, some of the shit they do, all this shady shit they're involved in, whether it be the fuckery, debauchery, the whatever fucking Epstein-esque shit they're caught up in, they're going to get exposed. Now, it's kind of funny because the American people are fucking like a bunch of gnats, all right? We have no attention span as a people. And we've been desensitized to so much shit on so many levels for so long that we don't stay focused. It's like we all got fucking ADHD or something. We've been programmed in a way where it's just easier. You get pissed off at first, but it's just easier to let it go. Just let it go. It'll all work out. Just let it go. And that's part of the problem. Okay? As a people, we're more concerned with who's on Dancing with the Stars, what episode of The Last of Us is on this week. We just do dumb shit. We're concerned with the wrong thing. You could go out right now, I guarantee you, into wherever you fucking live, go into the town you live in, especially if you live in an urban area. You could ask 10 people randomly to name who their representatives are, ask them to name who drew up the Declaration of Independence, ask them to name the founding fathers, anything, and you're going to get all kinds of fucked up answers. Ask them who discovered fucking America. I mean, we've allowed our society to become so habitually fucked that, you know, they're semi-functional idiots. Not trying to offend people, but come on. I mean, when I go out in public, there's no respect for the law. There's no respect. There's no individual respect anymore. Like, how many times can you hold the door open for somebody and they just ignore you and walk through? Or how many times you walking down an aisle and they pretty much expect you to get out of their way? Now, unfortunately, a lot of this I see is black on white. Now, I do see some white on black occasionally, but it's very rare where I'm at. And let me just be painfully clear here. This is not me pointing fingers at one nationality or another. I got plenty of friends who are not the same shade I am. That don't mean shit to me. How you fucking act and carry yourself, that's a different story. You act like a fucktard, I'm going to regard you as a fucktard. There you have it. So that being said, you know, I can name many times I'll go down an aisle or something, and I can have them, maybe a man or a woman. Women typically will say they'll mutter something or say excuse me or whatever, but you'll have about half the time the men just expect to get out of the way. Hold doors open for people. Most of the time I get a thank you or whatever. It's not that I'm doing it to, I'm not trying to incite a response. I'm just doing it because I was raised up that way. It's the right thing to do. I can tell you one time I was in the hood, well, hood-ish. I was on the fringe back in the day. I was in the post office. And there's an elderly black woman coming down because there's like a tiered parking area. It wasn't a big parking area, but it was like the parking sucks. So she was coming down through the parking lot, and I was at the door. I saw her coming. And I opened the door, and I was holding it for her. And she's coming. She's yammering something at me, and I can't really hear her. And she gets up to me. I told you I don't need you to hold that damn door for me. I got my own door. I was glad to go and walked off. Now, that's the kind of bullshit that opened my eyes. Okay? I'm just trying to be courteous. And she's trying to rip me a new asshole because I was holding the door for her. You know, I guess I'm just too old-fashioned. I don't understand where society has gone, but, you know, it shouldn't be this way. I know I've gotten kind of off on tangent here, but it all kind of goes hand in hand because the whole problem we got now with this whole Ripper situation, they're trying to rev up racial tension. The media is eating this shit up because the media wants a problem because that's how they get ratings. They would be perfectly fine if half the fucking cities in the country were on fire. Because they can make money off of tragedy. That's how they roll. They don't give a shit about telling the truth. They don't give a shit about trying to get you real information. They want to stir the pot and make the money from their advertisers. That's all it's about. Don't think it's about anything else. That's why the legacy media is getting shit on so hard by the White House, and you've got all these different heads coming in there now, and the legacy media's all been out of shape. Well, y'all fucking screwed the pooch. You've been in here all this time, and all you've done is walk lockstep, whatever the fucking narrative is, instead of reporting news. So, deuces. You know, just saying. You did it to your damn self. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a dumb redneck. I'm not going to try and keep you much longer because I know you're getting fed up listening to me rant. So we're going to call it kind of short this evening. As you can see, as I said, Saxman couldn't make it. He had some unexpected stuff come up. Hopefully, we will be back sooner than later. It's just our schedules just never seem to jive lately. What I will say is, pay attention to what's going on. I'm sure there'll be more fuckery come about between now and whenever. Don't lose sight of what's going on around you locally. Because with all these different things that are popping up, these different protests and things like that, you could find yourself right in the middle of something that you weren't planning. I know they've been popping off these different protests in all these different cities. They're almost like flash mobs to me. I don't understand where all these fucking people were. If you had all these people who were so fucking disgruntled originally, why didn't they vote? And don't tell me these are all Trump supporters that are pissed off. If you got Trump supporters that are that fucking ignorant, you don't need them as supporters because they're part of the problem. Just my 2 cents. But as I was saying, just be safe. Don't take chances, especially with your loved ones, And remember why we're all here and what you're trying to do. Don't let all this negativity and evil around you rule you. If you do the things you enjoy doing within reason, don't let yourself become paranoid or hindered or afraid to go out and do things because then they win. You see what I'm saying? Just be vigilant. That's all I'm saying. That being said, I really appreciate everybody being here tonight. Again, I'm sorry for cutting it short. I know Vanguard, he's in a difficult place right now just trying to keep us running because of his location. And I don't want to keep him any longer than possible. Absolutely necessary. And I'm going to dip off and go get some dinner. So, that being said, thanks again, everybody, for being here. Hope to see you again soon. Tell your friends, tell your coworkers, tell them to come check us out. We're dropping some good stuff over here. Just take the time to watch us. That being said, y'all have a good evening. God bless. Night, everyone.